behind closed doors. I'm a fool for your love.
Hi guys, another Geek123 here. So in today's video I'm going to go through the production and release of the first massive team up of the MCU, the Avengers from 2012, or Avengers Assemble to the UK including me, but I like to call it the Avengers. Let's get into it. So first, the development. First idea for an Avengers film was in 2003, and it was led by Avi Arad, the CEO of Marvel Studios at the time, first announcing plans to develop the film back in April 2005 after Marvel Enterprises declared independence, with Merrill Lynch agreeing to produce this movie and future projects, with Paramount distributing them once again. Behind the scenes, Marvel agreed to start releasing movies where the main characters would have solo movies if they worked, and they would all cross together in this one. Screenwriter Zach Penn, who eventually wrote The Incredible Hulk, was in the talks to write this film in 2006 and was finally hired in June 2007. After the Writers Guild of America between the years 2007 and 2008, Marvel negotiated with them to make a film based on the comic book characters. After the success of Iron Man in 2008, Marvel set the release date for the Avengers movie to 2011 in the May. Casting began in October in 2008, with Downey signing. Don Cheadle, who was reported to be returning as War Machine for the Avengers, later said that he didn't think the character will be returning in this film, but maybe in future projects. Jon Favreau also became an exclusive producer for the film, and the company signed a lease with Relay Studios to produce Iron Man 2, Thor and Captain America: The First Avenger at their Manhattan Beach, California complex. Lou Ferrigno, the classic Hulk actor who voiced the character in The Incredible Hulk, stated that he would be involved around the same time. In February 2009, Samuel L. Jackson signed a 9-picture deal to return as Nick Fury in future films, and this one was rumoured to be one. Edward Norton, who also played the Hulk in The Incredible Hulk, also said he was open to return as Bruce Banner after he struggles with the company in September 2009. The next month, Favreau confirmed he would not direct the film, but he would be involved heavily, saying he would make sure to help as much as he can, because it's going to be a hard film to make and work. In March 2009, Scarlett Johansson replaced Emily Blunt to play Black Widow in Iron Man 2, and it was rumoured she would also appear in the third film and this film. The following day, Marvel pushed the release date back to May 4th, 2012. Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston also joined the cast after being cast as. In July 2009, Penn talked about the crossover process, saying his job was to kind of shuffle between different movies and make sure he could make them all work in his script, while mimicking the comic book style right. At first he made Thor not a main screen character in the film, since he had doubts about a big screen Thor, but when Chris Hemsworth cast as him, he put him back in the light with Iron Man, Cap and Hulk. The film also mostly had Loki always being the villain, but at the start he wanted to make Red Skull return as the villain for some odd reasons. Some same reasons about not sure about Thor being right for the screen. In January 2010, Kevin Feige was asked if it would be difficult to make Fantasy Thor and high-tech Iron Man be in the same world, and he responded with no, saying that they weren't putting old Norse Thor in this movie, they were putting the classic Thor by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee in a more modernised age in this film, which is very different and said the Thor movie would show that. In March it was reported that Penn had completed making the first draft of the script, and that Marvel editor-in-chief Joe Quesada and Avengers comic book writer Michael Bendis received copies. Also in March, Chris Evans was cast as Captain America and agreed to appear in 3 films, including this one. Now for pre-production. In April 2010, Joss Whedon was close to completing a deal to direct the film and rework Penn's script. He was finally put as director in July 2010. AVR had also praised him, saying he was a great writer and director that loves these characters, saying he would do a good job. At the San Diego Comic-Con 2010, Whedon said that he was interested in the film because they were like a family, random people that shouldn't be in a room together, but are. When Whedon received Penn's draft, he told Feige that he felt that the studio has nothing yet. This movie needs to give it what it needs to continue making movies. So he wanted to pretend that the draft never happened at all. The main problem to him was that no character connections were in the film, so you needed to start at square one, which is a little harsh, but he sort of has a point. He then created a 5-minute script, which improved on some scenes from Penn's script, and Marvel hired him to both direct and write and direct afterwards. He had to go through many changes in the script that made the movie seem very different to the final product, such as Black Widow maybe not being in the film at all, even though she will be introduced in Iron Man 2, and the Wasp would somewhat replace her in the film. And thank God, because I like the way they introduced her in Ant-Man, to be fair, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. He also made Loki not be the only villain. He put Obadiah Stane's son in as well to get some revenge. But once he got told all casting was final, he worked hard and made the final product we love. Whedon also had to share writing credit with Penn, and was upset because he felt that he put most of the work in. Mentioning the cast process, when it ran into 2010, it was announced that Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo and Clark Gregg were cast. At the time, Jeremy Renner and Clark Gregg's casting wasn't announced, but Mark Ruffalo's was. Ruffalo replaced Edward Norton as the Hulk since Marvel didn't want Norton back. Kevin Feige explained it was because they didn't want Norton. They didn't think Norton could play the character well in all areas, even though he did great in some, and that they felt Ruffalo was a better fit, which resulted in Brian Swanson, Edward's agent, who said it was not true, creating a small rivalry between them for a while. But the rivalry sort of quietly ended, with the last thing happening on October 2014. Yes, 2 years after the Avengers film actually released, when Norton claimed it was his decision to never play the character again because let's just leave that sort of stuff. I don't really want to get into it. In August 2010, it was reported that Paramount and Marvel were planning to start shooting in February, and it was going to get filmed in 3D, but Mark Ruffalo tweeted that the rumours were not true. In October 2010, Gunman Studios in Bethpage, New York and Steiner Studios in Brooklyn, New York announced filming locations for the film, and that set construction would start in November. Also by October, Disney agreed to pay Paramount $150 million for worldwide distribution rights to Iron Man 3 and the Avengers. And that doesn't mean they actually buy Marvel Studios at the time, it was just a somewhat test of them working with Paramount before taking over the studio. I stopped recording for a moment and I noticed some new music has went on in the house, and I can't stop that, guys, so if you can hear it, I'm very sorry, but I don't know if the background music will take over it or not, but if you can, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if I waste your time by saying if you can't hear anything at all. In December 2010, Bill Richardson, the governor of New Mexico, and Marvel Studios co-president Louis D'Esposito, I think I've definitely pronounced that wrong, I'm very sorry, announced the film would film primarily in Albuquerque, I've definitely pronounced that wrong, in New Mexico, and filming in total was announced to start filming in April 2010 and end around September 2011. I meant April 2011 if I said 2010, sorry. Around the same time, concept illustrator and designer of Iron Man's Mark 7 armor, Phil Saunders, stated that Joss Whedon was looking for a somewhat as cool as the suitcase from Iron Man 2 for a suit, but also wanted a fully armor, and maybe like an army suit for a final battle. He ended up borrowing ideas from Iron Man 2 and then the original Iron Man, and merged them together for the final. In February 2011, casting reached its final stages, with Kobe Smulders being the final one casted as Maria Hill, after doing a lot of screen tests with Samuel L. Jackson. Now for filming. It began on April 25th, 2011 in New Mexico at the name Studios, with the working title Group Hug. In June 2011, stuntman Jeremy Fitzgerald injured his head while attempting a stunt involving a fall from a 30-foot building after getting hit by an arrow. But afterwards, a Marvel spokesperson told TMZ that he fully recovered straight away. The following month, filming took place for an hour outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Production relocated to Cleveland, Ohio in August 2011, after they also filmed in New York for 2 days. Also, they actually filmed the battles in New York and included real soldiers to make it more realistic. For all filming in total, Seamus Garvey, I definitely butchered that, stated that he composed the frame with an 1:85:1 aspect ratio to cope with varying heights of the main characters, explaining that it was unusual for action films to be like this, but it works for this one since you can fit characters like the Hulk, Captain America and Black Widow's characters with different heights in the same shot without making it laughable. Now for post-production. In December 2011, Disney announced that the film would be converted to 3D. Whedon added on to it saying that watching the movie in 3D would make it aesthetically better. Also, January 2012, it was reported that filming would be digitally remastered for IMAX 3D and open in IMAX theaters on May 4th, 2012. Same day it opens in regular theaters. It was also Whedon's decision to include Thanos in the post-credit scene, behind the scenes, since minor talks about leading up to Infinity War and Endgame was going on then, and he said it would be cool to think Loki, a big threat, was just a part of it all. Whedon also last minute added the Shawarma credit scene as well, which was shot on April 12, 2012, a whole day after the first world premiere. Evans wore a prosthetic shot, while filming to cover the beard he grew at the time for a different movie. Funnily enough, shawarma sales in New York went up after the movie came out. The film ended up containing 2,200 visual shots, completed by 14 companies: Industrial Light and Magic, Weta Digital, Scanline VFX, Fuel FX, Evil Eye Pictures, Luma Pictures, Cantina Creative, Trickster, Modux FX, Whiskey Tree, Digital Domain, The Third Floor and Method Design. Ruffalo also performed in motion capture to help create the version of Hulk, and Downey did the same thing for the Iron Man suits in some scenes. Disney and Sony also agreed to include the Oscorp tour from the Amazing Spider-Man in the film. to maybe somewhat make a crossover in the future, but it was dropped due to the skyline already being made from sets and visual effects, which is thank God, because I liked the first Amazing Spider-Man film. I think it's okay. I hate the second one though, even though I know it came out 2 years after Marvel, the Avengers. It could have went totally different. The Amazing Spider-Man franchise could have merged with this franchise and everything could have been alright. But then another problem was that we wouldn't have got Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, which is, yes, very different and pissed off some fanboys, which I'm a fanboy myself, so don't mean bad by that, but just like, he's a good, cool character to most people in the MCU, and I'm just glad this didn't happen, in my opinion. Now for music. In November 2011, Marvel announced that Alan Silvestri, who scored Captain America: The First Avenger, would compose this movie as well. He developed the score with London Symphony Orchestra at Abbey Road Studios in London, England. In March 2012, band Soundgarden announced through Facebook that their song Live to Rise would be added to the soundtrack as well. Angie also released a music video for the single Hello Andrew Adredin. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry if I fucked up that bad there. Which was announced to be the film's theme song in India. The final soundtrack was released by Hollywood Records on May 1st. Now for marketing. The film was promoted at San Diego Comic-Con 2010, and a teaser trailer was shown, narrated by Samuel L. Jackson, which introduced their cast. In June 2011, Marvel announced the film would not appear at the 2011 one, however. In July 2011, the teaser trailer for Captain America's post-credit scene for the film was released online, which I have talked about in the past video. In August 2011, Disney, Pixar and Marvel presented a look at Disney's upcoming films, which included The Avengers at the D23 Expo in Anaheim, California. In October 2011, Marvel held a presentation at New York Comic Con that featured new footage and a panel discussion with cast and Kevin Feige. The first full-length trailer was released in October, which had mixed reviews, and it also was downloaded over 10 million times in 24 hours, breaking the most viewed trailer at the time, defeating The Dark Knight. Yeah, The Dark Knight, I think, or I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was The Dark Knight. A second trailer was released in February 2012 and broke the record again with 13.7 million views and downloads. In January 2012, Marvel had a global Twitter chat with Whedon, Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston and Clark Gregg. A 10-second teaser also was shown at the Super Bowl in February, which cost $4 million, which is still ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as $40 million. In December 2011, Marvel announced that an 8-issue comic for the film would be released, written by Christopher Yost and Eric Pearson, with art by Luke Ross and Daniel HDR, and it was released in March 2012. Another comic book was announced focusing on the MCU Black Widow, which would be released, called Black Widow Strikes, and it would be written by Fred Van Lente. The story is set in between Iron Man 2 and the Avengers. Paul Glitter, Marvel's entertainment president of consumer products, commented that the build of the film helped strengthen retail partnerships. In September 2011, set photos of Robert Downey Jr. driving a new model Acura were published online, which led to Acura spokesperson saying that they did have involvement in the film. In December 2011, Acura announced that a new NSX styled along the lines of concept built up for the Avengers would be unveiled at the 2012 North American Auto Show. In February 2012, it was announced that Marvel had partnered with a fragrance company, Chance, to promote the film with character-based fragrances. Other companies that promoted the film were I think I pronounced that, and I probably will hate myself if it's a company I actually like. Dr. Pepper, Farmers Insurance, Harley Davidson, Hershey's, Lando Frost, Lunch Meats, Oracle, Red Baron Pizza, Semitic, Visa and Morandon Hotels and Resorts.
Now that's how you assemble. Sign them up.
Make this a one-of-a-kind summer with limited edition Dr. Pepper cans. And check out Marvel's The Avengers in theaters May 4th.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes, but some fight for the noblest of causes. Their mission? To keep kids happy and healthy. The Avengers and Land of Frost have teamed up to give you a secret weapon. Land of Frost great-tasting lunch meat. Now with every purchase of specially marked packages of Land of Frost 1 pound premium lunch meat, you could have a chance to become CEO of Stark Enterprises for a day. Look for The Avengers coming to theaters this summer.
Oh, this is it. The Avengers. Is that? Hey, what's this do?
New Baron's Best from Red Baron. With a hand-tossed style crust. Delicious. Just got legendary.
This is awesome.
New Baron's Best from Red Baron. Taste the legend.
1 second.
See Marvel's The Avengers in theaters May 4th.
Baskin-Robbins, Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts that promoted past MCU films never promoted the film since Disney didn't want to promote too many fast food services, which is a bit funny to me because Hershey's, a chocolate bar which, well, is not bad per se but has fat in it, is promoting it. Lunch Meats, Dr. Pepper, a soda which contain fats, is there as well, so I don't really get it. Red Baron Pizza is a fat food as well, I just don't get that, but that's the reason behind it. And now finally for the release. In February 2012, Disney announced the film's title would be changed in the UK to avoid confusion with a British TV series with the same name and the film adaptation. But it confused everyone. What the actual title was, since reports kept saying it was Avengers Assemble worldwide, with Marvel spokespeople kept saying it was just their name in the UK. But Marvel must have got confused as well, since now the website says it's Avengers Assemble to this day. The film's world premiere was April 11, 2012 at Hollywood El Captain Theatre. The film was released by Disney Home Entertainment on Blu-ray, Blu-ray 3D, DVD and digital download on September 25th, 2012 in the US and August 29th, 2012 in other markets. So guys, that was production of the Avengers movie. This movie is great to me, it's a great team up, great way to start introducing the MCU as a bigger thing than just solo movies, creating an actual universe itself. I love this film, I love the comedy, I love the action, I love most of it. And I love Joss Whedon's direction in this one. What are your thoughts, guys? Please comment down below. Go to my most recent tweet at Geekquant231, or go to my Discord server where you can talk about anything nerdy. The links are always in the description of the Twitter and the Discord. If you want to give feedback about this video or any of my videos in total, please comment down below and give me a like or dislike. I don't mind if you guys dislike the video. It'll give me improvement. It'll give me some information to improve the channel. And if you want to help out even more, if you did dislike, please comment down below what you thought was bad about the video.
Give me rent. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Web action. See you, chump.
What the hell?!
You should have gone for the head.
Start? I don't feel so good.
You're alright.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Hurry. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Hold up.